Welcome to Fragmental.
An amusing take on random topics. So, as our tagline goes, um, it's been a while.
And it's been like 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. With our last episode was right around the Super Bowl time.
Yeah, I mean, people have been bitching that we need to drop some content.
That was your brother? Was it your brother-in-law?
Yeah, he was. We had a birthday party for one of my kids, and he looked at my wife and he's like, "Will you let the man record some content?" Jesus.
That's the we should have T-shirts made. Would you just let us record some content?
So yeah, so he'll appreciate that dropping a little ode to him here in the beginning. So appreciate the
Yep.
listenership.
Yeah, kudos. There's one of our 9 listeners, so we got 1/9 of our audience covered.
But yeah, man, it's been a while. A lot of crazy shit has happened in 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. So those of you listening, if it sounds a little bit different, Mike and I are doing this remotely because, like most of, if not all of the country, we are not quarantine, but stay at home is probably the better way to say it, right?
We are social distancing.
Yes, we're well, other than the people in your house you're social distancing from, but yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's weird. It's one of our other friends said on we had a like one of the now everybody's doing those fucking like those virtual happy hours. We did
Yeah,
one, right?
yeah.
We did one with some friends of ours, and he made a great point. He's like, it's all going to change. Just how is yet to be determined. But it's been crazy. This whole thing. I mean, when did this kick off? Like late February, I think was probably when the corona started
Probably,
showing up here in the states.
yeah, when it really started booming, kind of around the world at that point, right?
Yeah. Um. Well, January. I think January was I think the first time China said anything. So, uh, yeah. So I mean, they were in the thick of it through January and February, and it's finally here in the states. And we're passing all kinds of numbers, man. We're number one in what? We're number one in deaths and number one in cases and USA, motherfuckers.
Right. I mean, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. I mean, that's America right there.
Yeah, exactly. We're going for the gold no matter what it is.
We're fucking America.
Yeah, the bald eagle. Have you seen the meme of the bald eagle with a mullet?
Yeah,
That's the best. And it's just Murica with
America.
the bald eagle with a mullet.
I mean, if
Yeah, I mean,
we got to do it right.
uh, yeah, absolutely. The so okay, so you like everybody they're telling everybody to stay at home. And then all these motherfuckers start panicking. Like
No,
like nothing works. And it's like just go home, right? Just don't stay away from people so you don't spread the virus. Just stay home. That's all they fucking said. And everybody started hoarding shit. What was the toilet paper?
oh my god, it's ridiculous. I mean, and because of the toilet paper, you also saw, which did make sense to me, you had hoarding of like Aquaphor and shit like that, and we made fun of it at work, but it all made sense. If you can't get good toilet paper, your ass is going to be raw. You're going to need the goddamn Aquaphor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I gotta buy this shit fucking I'm literally wiping my ass with 220 grit. I'm gonna need Aquaphor.
Dude, I'm so glad you made that joke because I've been saying that and nobody gets it, and I'm like, it's fucking sandpaper, man.
Yeah. You would have had the people that hear that joke have to have used or tried to buy sandpaper at some point and to understand what the different grits are.
But I mean,
Like,
everybody's painted at some point in their life, right?
yeah, I don't think they look at hopefully they've sanded. Maybe the fuckers don't sand.
Right. I mean, that's right. You know who would have got that joke? Anybody that owns a Nash Rambler. They would have fucking got
Yeah, all 6 of them over the age of 70.
that. Right. They're laughing, hopefully not dying of corona. And
Yeah, exactly.
oh, that was a shitty joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you had to go there. But yeah, the fucking toilet paper. And what's even funny about that, man, is you know this. It's like there's nothing with Corona or COVID. What's the right word? Is it coronavirus or is it COVID-19?
I mean, COVID-19 is this exact strand, but it's a
Oh,
coronavirus. So
okay.
you're not wrong either way, other than, people like to bitch about semantics about every goddamn thing. So, I mean, it's just one more thing for people to bitch about, but you're not wrong either way.
Well, the funny thing is, if we just keep talking Corona, people think we're talking about beer. You know, they got the Corona like a 12er or like a 24. What was the scoop on that?
They've got Corona Light now. So, I mean,
Exactly, exactly. You don't shit as bad as you do with regular Corona.
oh, man. Yeah, Corona's a solid beer in the summertime.
I get. I'm not a big Corona fan, so probably as I drink my 7.2 Ryan Geist
I
since
mean,
he made Truth beer. Just as a plug for Ryan Geist, if anybody, any marketing professional, VP of marketing happens to be listening for Ryan Geist beer,
yeah, if
that'd be great.
you need somebody to sponsor, I mean, we're more than willing
Exactly.
to offer.
As I take a smooth draw of this amazingly Ryan Geist Truth beer. Um,
right.
yeah, it's like I didn't like it's like shitting yourself isn't part of the toilet paper thing, and that people were buying like hundreds of fucking rolls of toilet paper, like they were
Oh, man.
like they're never leaving their fucking house.
No, it's ridiculous. And so I asked them, I was at Kroger, right? It's the grocery store around here, right? So I'm at Kroger and I was like, all right, guys, be honest with me. Like, do I need to be here at 7 a.m. if I want toilet paper? And at that point, they were like, yes. They were like, no joke. There's a line of 300 people when we open the door and they go straight to the toilet paper. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, when did that become like they had the oil price shocks in the late 70s, early 80s, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The Cold War thing. Like, and that makes sense. you know, Oil and gas and everything makes sense. Like we had toilet paper shocks, not in price, but in ability to stock. Like, what the hell is that?
It literally did not make any sense. It wasn't tied to the virus. It wasn't tied with any symptoms of the virus. I don't get it. I mean, I did. Well, here's how smart fucking people are today. You know, in the UK, they were burning down 5G towers, the latest cellular technology of the fifth generation 5G, because somebody had started a rumor that 5G, the technology behind 5G, the waves or whatever, was caused corona. Like you could get it from the fucking 5G.
The-
So they started burning down 5G towers.
I mean, come on, how conspiracy theory do we got to be now?
I that's it. It literally doesn't make any sense. Although, I mean, maybe radiation and cancer, but no, not corona.
Is it crazy, man? I mean, it's just a wild world we live in, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, they're I call them the roners now, the people who are doing all the hoarding because like, and some of the things like toilet paper doesn't make sense, but then you look at some of the other stuff. A1 is gone. like, I saw people leaving the store with 12 gallons of milk. And right, I'm a big enough asshole, so my daughter sees me just she could tell I'm pissed. And she's like, "What's wrong, Daddy?" And I'm like, "That dumbass doesn't realize that milk still goes bad in 2 weeks. It doesn't matter how much of it you buy."
Exactly.
And
Unless
then
you're gonna drink it all.
somebody was like, "Well, you can freeze it." I was like, "Who the hell has a walk-in freezer big enough for 12 milks?"
12-gallon jugs of milk.
Right, right. Good call. It was 12 gallons of milk. It wasn't just 12 school milk cartons. But I I was pissed, and it just didn't make any sense to me. Unless they were a cottage cheese farmer, in which case I apologize for being a dick.
Well, I would hope that if you're a cottage cheese guy, you're getting it from somewhere else because it needs to be pasteurized and everything else before it fucking goes in a container.
Thanks.
It's just bad milk. Don't even get me started on the cottage. You know how I bitch about cottage cheese just because I grew up on a dairy farm, so
Right.
I know exactly what fucking cottage cheese is.
Yeah, so
It's
you're
not.
right. You literally, you
Yeah.
literary.
I used to hose cottage cheese down the drain. Let's put it that way.
So, but yeah, I mean, people freaking out, hoarding everything. Um, yeah, I mean, people fighting just because other people aren't wearing masks and shit like that. I mean, I'll say this, man, and right, we stay out of the political realm for our podcast.
Mhm.
Um, but like when 9/11 happened, I feel like people found a way to come together. Like, you know what? We might hate each other politically, but you know what? Now's not the time for it. We'll come back to that in a month. Let's be in this together.
Right.
And I feel like that hasn't happened near as much through the corona stuff. Like, I feel like people have been bigger assholes, and this has in no way calmed the venom of the political spectrum.
Oh god, no.
So I mean, that
Well,
points me on both sides. Neither one is better than the other. They're
no, no. And speaking of assholes, and we'll talk about hoarding. What about that motherfucker in was it Kentucky or Tennessee that had the garage full of like hand sanitizer, and he was
oh yeah,
like he bought like a fucking truckload of it, and he was going to try to like mark it up and make a shit ton of money. And he's selling it on Amazon and eBay, and both of those companies shut him down. Like they wouldn't allow him to sell anymore. Now he's stuck with a fucking garage full of hand sanitizer and whatever because nobody was buying it. And apparently, if my parents are correct, I think it's Tennessee. The governor of Tennessee like went in and confiscated it because he bought it in Tennessee, or the governor of Kentucky. So wherever he got it and made him donate it or something along those lines. It was just like,
good for
"Hey, we're not allowing you to do this." So, but to your
them,
point,
man.
it
So good.
go ahead.
No, you
No,
go ahead
Mike,
and
you
finish
go
that
ahead.
thought. I'll remember. All right. So,
No, it's
well,
fine.
what I was going to say is the guy was a big enough prick that not only did he have like a truckload of it, he was driving to every stop and buying them out. So he was like within like a 3-state area. Like you said, he was in Tennessee. So I think he did like Tennessee, Mississippi, wherever. And yes, the
Is
guy.
that near Sweden?
right, right. You're familiar with Sweden and Switzerland, how close they are. It's very similar to you son of a bitch. But
Yeah, you walked into that one a little bit.
oh, I did. The guy was creating scarcity, so he was trying to do what they do to force the price up anyway. So like it was extremely calculated. So for the guy to be like, I had no idea it was going to be this bad, man. No, dude, you did.
Yeah, I mean, who buys fucking all the hand sanitizer in at a stop, and it just like not knowing there's a fucking virus, like a you need hand sanitizer. I mean, nobody randomly nobody randomly does that.
Right. You didn't expect the backlash. But no, what you did was extremely calculated, complete dickery. Like, it was the dude's a piece of shit. And like the article I saw, like he had his wife and his kid and he's trying to like humanize it. But it's like, dude,
Yeah,
you were a complete prick. I'm sorry. You're getting no love here.
exactly. Like, absolutely, it's like, yeah. Well, look at my poor wife and my poor kid. Yeah, they're poor. Their poor wife and poor kid because they're idiots for fucking hanging out with you because you're a fucking monkey.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Um,
Bad for your wife because you're a bitch, not because of anything else.
So you had that guy, you got the hoarding of the toilet paper, and then like hand sanitizer and any type of sanitizing products. What was the other thing? It was funny because there wasn't like a shortage of. It was literally like a pull on the supply chain. Like they're still manufacturing a shit ton of toilet paper. It's just getting it to the stores and getting it stocked in time. It was just everybody's doing just in time delivery now. So that
Yeah.
when you wipe the fucking shelf out, that doesn't help with the just in time delivery. So
Well, part of the problem, again, I was asking questions, right? We're both supply chain nerds, so we get that. And so I was asking Kroger that, and they're like, "Oh no, we have a ton of it in the back. The problem is the hoarding is not just toilet paper; it's everything. So we're having
oh
like they didn't. they didn't have enough time to restock anything. They had so many, like, there were managers bagging groceries. So it was just to the point where they're like, we need all hands on deck. So we're just to the point where, you know what? We're going to help everybody and then we'll go stock it at night.
I think the first night, I think it might have been the night that we were sent home to kind of work from home at that point. Um, I think I swung into Kroger to get toilet paper. Because and it wasn't like we needed it or anything. When I'm walking and the shelves were empty, and I'm like, holy shit, they actually have my brand of toilet paper. And Charmin Ultra Strong, Charmin, if you're out there listening, and I'm like, oh, there it is, and I grab it and I start walking towards. I only needed like that and then like one other thing, and I start walking towards the counter, and I'm like, why does this look exactly like my toilet paper? Fucking Kroger. It's the Kroger brand Ultra Strong toilet paper. It's the same colors. It's kind of the same kind of design logo on the bag or on the packaging. And I'm like, you sons of bitches. You visually tricked me into buying your Kroger toilet Ultra Strong toilet paper because it looks very much like the Charmin Ultra Strong toilet paper.
Now, how did it compare? I mean, we're talking solid softness, minimize.
I haven't used it yet. We actually really didn't need it. And then I told you about this, that it was like a Monday, about a week or so into the stay at, work from home, stay at home, and I'm upstairs looking for something in our guest bathroom. I forgot what I was looking for. Soap, maybe like hand soap or something like that. There's fucking 10 rolls of Charmin Ultra Strong in there. I'm like, I just won the fucking lottery. I
Oh,
mean, I've got
yeah. I mean,
I
you could barter. You might be able to barter a Ferrari with that.
So this is speaking of toilet paper, and this is running this toilet paper run. I was talking to my parents one night, and my mother was telling the story. I know she just completely fucked up this story, completely fucked it up. She's like saying that how Americans use more toilet paper than any other country in the world, and um, I'm like, okay. And she said there's some guy out there or some website or not with some website, some guy, some statistician did some crunch some numbers and said that um, every American, each American uses 144 rolls of toilet paper a year or something like that. And so I'm like, really? That sounds like a lot. And she's like, oh yeah, and blah blah blah. And she goes in. I wasn't really doing any math on it, and I like the next day I'm like, that sounds like way too much. I mean, that's 12 rolls of toilet paper per person per month, and I'm like, um, I don't think that's right. And so I said something to my wife, and she's like, there's no fucking way that's right. It can't be. I mean, we'll buy a 10 pack and there's two people in the house, and I don't know even how long it takes us to get through that pack.
Yeah, but those are triple
And
rolls, Dave. That's actually like 30 rolls of toilet paper.
have you heard the joke like toilet paper math is like literally harder than statistics and calculus? Because it's like you buy the one bag says 8 rolls. These 12 rolls equal 36 rolls, but then you go to another one and it's like these 12 rolls equal 24 rolls, and you're like, wait a minute, how is that one 36 and this one 24? I mean, it's the fucking math on toilet paper is like you seriously need to like a doctorate in mathematics to figure
They're
it
like,
out.
this one's 3 times the cotangent of the other brand. What?
What? Yeah, what? Um. Anyway, then I found a website that it actually has a calculator in it. So you say how many people in your house, how many times a day do you take a shit, and then how many squares of toilet paper do you use? Um,
I do
and
not.
then it calculates how many rolls of toilet paper you're going to need. Leave it. That's why America is like industrious. You know what I mean? It's like there's a need. There's everybody's out of toilet paper. There's a whole big hoarding of toilet paper, and some guy figures out a way that if he just builds this website, he'll tell you exactly how much toilet paper you need to have on hand for you to shit on a regular basis.
But I guess it depends on how many times they're going to eat enchiladas that month. I mean, that comes into play.
Yeah, well, it's not how much you eat. It's like how many times of day do you go to the bathroom where you need toilet paper? That's the kick.
Yeah.
Whether you're wiping your ass because you had enchilada night or you had like 30 pounds of cheese and it's just, you know, so, but it was interesting. And my mother's numbers were way off. So I think she just butchered that story. Love you, mom, but that was off.
You need to check better in your analytics there.
Yeah,
That's fun.
exactly.
But no, man,
Um,
you're right. It's the hoarding's been ridiculous, and some of the stuff again, A1 bread, um, pretty much every damn thing. Like even if you go into the spices aisle, everybody's taking it. And I'm like, oh, so did everybody turn into fucking emerald now? Like, like what just happened? I'm still,
it
yeah.
it's funny. I mean, I think well, you know what? Wasn't a lot of information. It's still fucking wrong. Half of it. Uh, it's just I don't. People panicked. And I don't. It's kind of funny because everything was open. It's not like it. You got you know what I mean. It wasn't like everything is. You need to get 700 fucking rolls of toilet paper because all of the grocery stores are closing between now and 2023. I mean, it's just like
They didn't even go that.
no, everything was open.
The way people
It's
were
still
freaking out,
open.
it's like, oh my god, they're closing in 35 minutes. Like what? What is happening? Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's
Yeah, it
weird
was.
times.
But so yeah, everybody's got to stay at home now, which and I, so which leads to all other just a bunch of other things too. Like my wife working in working together in the same office. Um, it's been interesting. I mean, I think it's just I I got to listen to her calls. She's got to listen to my calls, and this it's been interesting, that's for sure. I mean, I'm sure what was the joke? There's either going to be a baby boom or a divorce boom when this thing's over. So
Well, I heard like in China, like couples who were had to quarantine, like the rate of divorce was at like 60% or something ridiculous. I'm like, man,
really,
times are tough. Now, I mean, come on, let's be honest. I don't know that China has been 100% honest with the information they've shared through these last 3 months. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But the point is, they were saying a lot more divorces than you would expect.
yeah, it's probably like four. No, or it's like 750.
Right, because
But
so many damn
so
people.
well, I mean, so everybody's at home, so everybody turns to you. Get if you're not working from home, and I feel actually I said this to my wife and I said this to you guys, said this to you too. It's like, I feel I'm pretty grateful that I've got a job that I can just continue to work.
Yeah.
It's still get paid from my home. I couldn't even I couldn't even imagine if I some of those people that got laid
Yeah,
off and
there's a lot of people not
um
working right now, 100%.
yeah, I mean, it's just so, yeah, kudos, not kudos, but just I feel grateful for that. So, but now you're home. I mean, people are like, obviously Netflix, I think, saw an insane bump. All of the streaming services are up.
Oh, yeah.
It's it, so, and we have to get to fucking Pornhub analytics. I mean, we have to talk about that. Um,
I mean, we did a pretty solid buildup with all the analytical talk we've done up to this point. I mean,
exactly. And if for those of you that are listening, and I'm not telling you to go to pornhub.com, but I think it's like analytics.pornhub.com or something. Insights.pornhub.com or something like that. And that's all of their analytics from their website. So
yeah,
there's no porn on the website. It's just literally charts and graphs and shit like that. It's if you're a data nerd or you appreciate data, I highly recommend it. But they show a spike. I think it was March 13th.
like
Um,
the day people started talking about social distancing.
yeah, social distancing and staying, and everybody was pushing from like the stay at home. They had like a 13% spike that day. I mean, no, this isn't like a 13%. This is a spike over their average number. So this is like up and then up another 13% on that day alone. Um, it's been up, I think, ever since that. I just remember pulling the number that one time. So, oh, that sounded awful. Pulling a number.
Oh,
So it's on Pornhub Analytics
I'm
pulling
pretty
some
sure
numbers.
there's plenty of pulling there.
But those far, I mean, they had broken down by country. Like,
Dude, their
I
analytics
think it
I mean, you and I have talked about this. I mean, their analytics are really good.
they're solid, man. There are, and it's like by how bad each country spiked by, and um and what they were, what they spiked with. I guess I think that's out there too. So
Turns out, step parent, stepdaughter porn is really, really popular, from what I hear.
in yeah, in France apparently.
But I mean,
But
Pornhub,
go ahead.
though, I mean, they are men and women of the people, Dave. I mean, understanding the tough times we're in, they offered premium, Pornhub Premium for a week free. I mean, that's
I I think it's longer than a week. I thought it was I thought it was until the virus thing was
oh,
over.
maybe it is.
From what I hear anway. That's what I think I've read that.
But I mean, so first of all, it's awful big of them, very big in some cases. But but no, I mean, they're again looking out for the people there. Um, I just want to know. I mean, just how much dirtier is premium? I mean, there's got to be some really fucked up stuff on there, right?
It's not. From what I understand, it's not really not that.
from, from what I hear.
Yeah. From what I hear, it's just like the normal stuff. Um, I don't know. But everybody's doing that now, man. Everybody's kind of giving away. It's kind of funny because we were talking earlier about how people are fucking assholes, and you were saying like after 9/11 we kind of came together. But I mean, businesses are like, people are doing some good things too. As far as like, I mean, Pornhub's giving away their premium service for I don't know X number of
Yeah,
days or
that's
months
A1.
or whatever it is.
But yeah, yeah.
Um, but a lot of like you're getting that the the forgiveness on student loans or on, I mean, some of that
Oh,
political
yeah,
shit though is not
yeah,
isn't working,
yeah.
but
Doing deferments, things like that. That's helping.
yeah,
So yeah, you're right. Not everybody's been a complete asshole. So there is some
yeah,
of
I
that,
saw
and then
one
also,
of the
right, a lot of no, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, I saw some article somewhere that said some like landowner or some he owned like a building with a bunch of like restaurants or a bunch of businesses in it, and he said, "Don't worry about the rent, pay your employees with it." So, I mean, he didn't have to do that, but that's kind of cool.
No, you're 100% right, man. I mean, that's and talking about a lot of the restaurants are hurting. So I know there have been a lot of people who've, right? I mean, we've been cooking a lot more than we normally did. Mostly because, right, I don't have an hour drive home every day now, so it's a little easier for me to just get up from the desk, go, throw something on the grill real quick, and then go back to work after I cook. Um, but still going out to eat a little bit more to try to help those restaurants out. I know a lot of people are doing that. Not, we are, and it's not because we have to. It's because we're actually trying to help any local business out there. So, um, so there have been some good things for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I figured I bring it back to like we know what we're talking about to get off of Pornhub because we seem to be on that quite a bit. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they've really saved the day here, though, Dave. I mean, I'm just. Anyways, social distance.
yeah, no, I mean, well, let's get back to like streaming services. So, we have to talk about Tiger King.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Honestly,
no, don't say too much because I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes in, so I still haven't seen all of it, but I'm aware of the fanaticism that goes along with it.
is that the most downloaded thing on Netflix at this point? I mean, I don't know anyone who hasn't at least seen an episode at this point.
Oh, absolutely, and I think I think you and our other friend had seen it, and and I'm like, don't say anything. I'm going to watch it. And I started watching the very first episode, and I texted both of you guys, and I said, I already hate Carol Baskins. I mean, just like right out of the box, I knew nothing about her backstory or whatever.
Yeah.
I heard her fucking talk, and I'm like, I already hate this woman. I already hate her. I don't know why.
I had at that point, I've never heard of any of these people before this show. And
I hadn't heard it anybody either.
my wife had though. So like as we started watching it, so you're right. Our friend Chris was the one who was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. You guys got to watch this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? If she thinks it's good, I'll give it a shot." And so my wife, and I was like, yeah, let's go and see what it's about. And she knew the story with uh, Carol Baskins because they were talking about, the guy who killed himself in Zanesville and all the animals got out, where they had to kill like 40 animals. And
Yeah.
she was involved in getting some of those. So my wife was already pretty, at least she knew of her because then to me, I had no idea about this story, so I thought this ended very differently than it has so far. Um, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Those people are absolutely nuts.
Oh, it's absolutely bonkers. I mean, here's the funny thing is, like I said, I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in, but or 2 or 3 episodes in, sorry. I keep adding to it. By the end of this conversation, I'm like,
Dude,
"Yeah, I've seen the whole
I've
thing."
seen 13
Um,
episodes, Mike. There's
dude, there were 8. Exactly. What the fuck are you watching? Oh, sorry, I'm still on Pornhub Premium. Um,
there's all kinds of Carol Baskin porn on here.
um, but every one of those guys, like so you got Baskins who has all of the volunteers.
Yeah,
And it's like a fucking cult. They got wear different colored T-shirts, and there's like different levels and all of that. So they do all of her fucking work for free.
yep.
Then you got who's the dude? I can't think of his name because I haven't watched it in about a week or so. The dude with like all of the girl, he has all the girls,
Oh,
and
Doc
he's like,
Campbell.
yeah,
Oh man.
and
So when I first saw it, I'm like, this guy's awesome. He's riding around on a goddamn elephant. And then you learn more about him, like with all the women manipulation. So, right, 80% of the people that work for him are his girlfriends.
they're working like 14 hours a day
Oh,
for like $100.
all these places. That's
Yeah,
one thing I couldn't believe. Or these people were making $150 a week, staying there. But I mean, they're staying in like shit trailers. It's not like they're staying at a Disney resort. Like because I think Disney does that with their interns. But it's like, yeah, you're staying in a Disney resort for you know 8 weeks or whatever. Like that's
no kidding. And
the equivalent of like 200. You know, they're more
yeah,
than that.
and it's
But
Disney. I mean, it's Disney. You know what I mean? It's like it's
right,
super clean and it's exactly. And then obviously the Tiger King dude, he picks up like fucking like rambling scruffs and fucking down and people on their down and out the,
and
all three of them manipulate the people that work for them, and they're just different classes or different types of people.
yeah, they did a good job of pointing. So even the Joe, right, Joe Exotic. There we go.
Yeah,
He was probably the craziest bastard of all of them, or maybe just the most narcissistic. I don't know, man.
yeah.
Campbell's pretty narcissistic. Um, but he brought that pretty good because right, like Carol Baskin's making it sound like, oh, we're doing all this just for the love of the animals and this, that, and the other. And then he was saying that like, yeah, but look at it. Every employee she has is a volunteer or an unpaid intern. She has no staff. They charge admission. She's keeping all the money. Like, she's a genius. She's
Well,
just as big of an
it,
asshole as they are.
Oh, completely. And all of her money came from her dead husband, who apparently is fucking tiger fodder.
So, yeah, my understanding is she is not happy at the way she was portrayed because that's now brought all that whole scenario back to light here.
Yeah, they reopened the case.
Yeah, well, as they should. I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but you'll see some of the things. I don't think you've gotten to it yet. That where they do look into that a little more, and you'll kind of be like, "How the hell did they stop the investigation at that?" Like they're in. Yeah, there's more to it. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, a lot of things fell through the cracks that you'll think to yourself, "There's no freaking way that should have happened."
No. All right. I got something to look forward to then.
I mean, it does get pretty good. I mean, it's not just right. Like I'm not into Jerry Springer. Like that's not my type of show. It's not just all the crazy, Jerry Springer type situations. Like there's actually when you start looking into some of this, you're like, man, this stuff is crazy. And you just like there's a lot of money flowing around these places.
Oh, yeah. And remember who's the dude? He got busted he was the drug lord. Everybody's calling him Scarface.
Yeah, he was like down in Miami. I don't remember the guy's name, but yeah, like
And his girlfriend slash wife dresses up. They have those little Chaputa monkeys or whatever they're called, and she has like 3 closets full of clothes for these
yeah,
things.
for them. Yeah. It, it's crazy shit, man. It's
I anybody. I've always said this. It doesn't matter what animal. If you're into animals, you've got like if you're into animals that much, like like you're animal crazy. I mean, there's something you need
oh
like people that are like
yeah.
into horses and even dog people that are like dog crazy and horse crazy, and these guys just happen to be tiger crazy. um it's you're ever there's a synapses broken somewhere.
Oh, for sure. They're wired differently, man. And it's funny, like when I was seeing like the El Chapo guy, the drug dealer, and
Yeah.
some of that thing. Like I'm connecting the dots here, and I'm like, like now that I think about it, I knew a drug dealer that owned a mountain lion. I know, and somebody else who drugs they own a goddamn wolf. Like, what's the connection with drugs and wild animals?
That's a great question. That could be another episode right there. um
But we'll never be able to do the research, man, because we'll be killed.
yeah, well, that too.
Like I don't give a
Hey, we're
shit.
just here to run a podcast. I've never heard of you two fucking assholes.
I don't care if you guys talk about my drugs, but I'll be goddamn that you talk about my tiger.
Exactly. You're with the SPCA, aren't you, fuckers?
Do I hear Sarah McLaughlin?
Exactly. Yeah, in the arms of an angel. Um, yeah, the fragmental is just a front for your covert law enforcement.
That's funny. We don't have enough mustaches to be law
Oh
enforcement.
man, exactly. And aviator sunglasses.
Right. I always thought that'd be a funny bit in a show if a guy wore aviators and a mustache. Like even if he was a guy running from the law and he gave like a head nod to a cop and said, officer, and then the officer said officer back, and he's like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" Like, I always thought that'd be a funny bit.
Sure. Okay.
All right, fuck you, man. Not as funny as a guy going ape shit on his wife during a work call, though.
Exactly. That is
Not
classic.
literally.
So we uh which rolls back to that Wayne Brady episode on Chappelle, man. That was just the best. It was just he's so out of character. He shoots a cop and what did he do? He shot a cop.
The cop's like, "My mom is not gonna believe this. That's because she's not gonna know, bitch." Oh,
Chappelle's
he
freaking out.
shoots a guy right out of the gate. He's like, "Hey, you want to go out, Dave?" Yeah. And then he drives up and shoots a guy, and then he's collecting from from the prostitutes. And Dave's like, "Run, bitch, run! Get some help!" Oh man! And then Wayne Brady gets him stoned on PCP. I didn't mean to get wet, Dave. What? That's PCP. Angel dust. Sherman Hemsley.
What, Sharman Hemsley?
Yeah, Sherm is another term for acid, I believe.
Oh. So we've got the hoarding, we've got the Tiger King, which is just binge watching. Which everything's been binge watching. I think I watched somebody turned me onto this. It's on Netflix about where you have to get married, but you can't see the person.
Oh yeah, that show was huge too. Yeah, uh,
Yeah. Did you watch that?
we haven't, or at least I have. I
Oh,
don't know if my wife has, but it was like Love is Blind?
Love is Blind. Yeah. Sat down. It's like eight or 10 episodes and knocked it out in like 2 days. Um, over a weekend. I love those fucking train wreck shows
I
like that.
was gonna say
Uh,
compared to Love Island.
oh, Love Island's way better. Love Island. I mean, just Love Island's a classic. It's sad though. Speaking of Love Island, that Carolyn Flack that hosted it for the first 5 seasons, yeah, 5 seasons, killed herself.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, it's just I guess her and her boyfriend, fiance, husband got in a fight, and I guess she kind of smacked him, like literally, like physically abused him, hit him with something or whatever. I forgot what it was, and I guess the media and fans and Twitter and all those guys just lit into her, and it and I mean we talk about paparazzi here, but paparazzi in the UK is like brutal. I mean it's
Right.
ours
Mm.
10 times that. And the rumor is that that was kind of a driving factor. She just couldn't take that shit anymore. Couldn't take it anymore.
Well, if I remember, I
Um,
think she did have some mental health issues already. So when you
yeah, probably.
all that on top of it, and that's the thing that people don't even think of is right. These people, I think again, I could be wrong. I'm just trying to remember back to the story. I think she already had some issues she was battling through, and then you just have the whole world shitting on you like that, or at least that's what you perceive is happening. No, you're right, man. It's awful, and
Yeah.
this whole situation isn't helping the mental health issue. Uh,
Oh no. They actually they said that it's kind of funny because my wife's very, very, very outgoing, and her coworkers and stuff are like, this is like her kryptonite. Like she's just like she can't get out, and she showed me a meme today about huggers. Like huggers are like people that really like to give hugs. She's like somebody like really likes to hug people. She's like, there's a time that it's challenging for them. You think about the huggers because it's challenging for them too, and because they can't hug anybody. So
no, it's weird, man. I mean, it's right. I'm a pretty outgoing guy, and yeah, it's also I'm all about telling jokes and just having a good time and laughing, and not near as much of that, man. I mean, I mean, luckily I'm an asshole, so I'll still drop that joke even if it's not the right time for it. But
yeah,
yeah, man, it's
that's
crazy.
what makes you you.
It's no, it's tough, man. That's one thing I was talking about when this all started. I said, man, nobody's really want to talk about that. Yeah, I do think mental health is going to be a big issue through this. I still think there's a lot more to come, depending on how long the social distancing ends up going. But I mean, there's so many people nowadays who, social media and their group of friends are what validate everything for them in life. So,
Right.
um, so that's harder for them, man. So, hopefully we're able to get through it and come together as, as a country and get through it together is kind of, I think, the bigger thing.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. What was it? Where was I going with this? I don't remember where I was going with.
Yeah.
Oh, like I have a note here about like um we were talking about alcohol consumption coming up, or going up for being at home and because people can't go out to bars and shit. Uh, I was laughing because these stay-at-home orders from the states they're random, or not. I shouldn't say random. They differ from state to state.
Yeah. Not every
So
state. There are some states who are doing extremely little.
yeah, and some that are like super locked down.
Yep.
So I saw a story the other day that so you have essential and non-essential businesses. Well, New York said that liquor stores are essential are an essential business. So liquor stores are open, but Pennsylvania didn't. That liquor stores are not essential. So the fear was all of these fucking people from Pennsylvania shoving themselves into New York to go buy alcohol in like if they have the corona or they don't have corona or whatever, or they don't have corona, they get to New York and they get it and bring it back or whatever the vice versa is. But that was the one of the things they were talking about, like how how each state differentiates like what's essential, what's not essential. There's no consistency.
Yeah. I think folks in Pennsylvania were driving to Ohio to get it, and Governor DeWine shut that down. So, like, our liquor stores, I believe, are not supposed to be selling to folks from Pennsylvania.
Nice. The Quaker state
Right.
to this day.
Can I see your ID? Yeah, yeah, I'm 18 or I'm 21, man. What's the deal? Yeah, fucking Pittsburgh. Get the fuck out of my store.
Exactly. And by the way, you're 16 and
Right. I'm willing to overlook the fact that you're only 16. However,
Yeah. Get back to Pennsylvania, you Penguin Steeler Pittsburgh Pirate motherfucker.
you son of a bitch. Um, but no, man, alcohol's. I mean, the consumption's way up. I think a lot of people are self-medicating. Right? People are with their kids constantly, so a lot of people can't handle that, man. I mean, you hear it on work calls, kids in the background. You hear it when you talk to some people, and you just hear the stress. You're like, man, these people hate their lives right now, and it's not. I don't think they're hating work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of work, I mean, so now everything is like conference call or video conference or whatever. And the just nobody's I- if we were to if this was a more of a norm in the business world, like these video, if we did video conferences more during like regular business, not during this weird time, but regular, like during this, like during regular time, this time they wouldn't be as fucking weird as they are. I mean, you've seen, everybody's seen the woman who goes to the bathroom during her Zoom call.
That's the best.
I told you guys, I said this to you too. I mean, having some IT background and having some IT friends, they know exactly who recorded that, and if I'm her, I'm lighting up. You know, I mean, this is that's gonna be a fucking legal
Oh,
battle.
it's you're right.
Um,
Online, you could see their names too. So it wasn't
yeah,
like, "Who the hell was that?" You're like, "And Jennifer Smith," or
yeah, exactly, or whatever her name was.
yeah.
Um, but or I was thinking some. So I mean, everybody's doing these video conferencing, and it's just it's so funny. I mean, what we were on a call where we were on the call the other day or whatever, and some dude like was like my fucking phone, and you're like, what? Um, it's just people forgetting to turn off mute and
There's some high ups on that call, man.
what's that?
And there's some high ups on that call.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
not like it
That
was just like our, like a handful of us
Yeah.
or whatever. Like,
This
yeah, officers in the
there were
company
some
are on this damn
3
call.
yeah, there were some 3 initialed people on that call. You know what I mean? Their title has 3 initials, not just 2, So, um, that was, uh,
Oh,
that was
man.
fucking great. That was so,
Oh,
and I kudos to some of the higher ups on that, because they even chuckled too. They're just like, they get it, right? You're at home and
right.
just you don't.
Right, that's not happening in the office.
Yeah, exactly. I wish it would though. It'd fucking make things a lot nicer,
Well, that's where
or not lot lighter.
but that's where we go on our bit, where you're gonna hear the
Yeah.
guy say, "Will you shut the goddamn dogs off? Shut Get them the fuck
Yeah.
outside, I'm on a goddamn call."
That is the fucking best. You and I are we're gonna run with that till it's like when we're back in the office, right? It's like it's not funny anymore. Yes, it is.
Oh, no, it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't understand how funny it is. Would you get those fucking dogs outside? I'm leading a goddamn conference call.
Jesus
And then
fucking Christ. I'm can't you hear I'm on a call? God damn it.
oh, and with video chatting, you can see him like do like the pseudo backhand.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like he's gonna backhand her with that motion.
oh, man,
Um,
you just hear the wife digging into her husband too, like, "You selfish son of a bitch."
well, if you had a bigger dick, I wouldn't have to go outside.
Oh man, you get one of those arguments. Oh, there it is. My fucking poor wife who's used to fucking 12-inch dongs. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Um,
That would be fucking
I
great.
would. Oh man, she's like, I sold my fucking law firm for this shit. Are you kidding me? I gave my firm so you could do this kind of shit.
I had an aspiring acting career and I had to move to fucking Ohio for you.
I've got 3 goddamn degrees, and then I'm letting your fucking dogs out?
Oh shit. We could have a whole fucking episode just making those comments.
Oh, man.
Oh, fuck.
Eh,
I don't know if anybody's listening and thinks this is a good episode, but we're having a good time.
you gotta be able to laugh at this shit, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny too because even I mean now everybody. Oh, speaking of Zoom, I mean we were talking about the woman that went to the bathroom in Zoom or on that Zoom call.
Yeah.
So everybody's touting how fucking great Zoom is. Have you read some of the shit on Zoom?
No, I have
It is my. I said to my wife, I'm reading this stuff because I have like these tech feeds and stuff. Like from a security feature, like think of how useful a a colander is, right? When you to drain like spaghetti and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's a very useful tool. It does the job, but it's got a shit ton of fucking holes in it. That's Zoom. It's a really good video tool, but a fucking ass ton of security holes in it. The some of the Zoom calls and meetings were going through Chinese servers.
Oh,
Um,
man.
some of the what was it? People were easily guessing the name of other people's Zoom calls, and then they call it Zoom bombing. They just jump in on a call.
So I did hear about
Um,
that. Didn't that happen with the government or something? Like,
it may
they're like,
have.
"We're not doing these on Zoom anymore. We had too many Zoom bombs on this shit."
Uh, the city of New York, the city of New York school system kicked Zoom. They're not using Zoom anymore. It's like and everybody's like, we should do a Zoom call. I'm like, I don't want to end up on the fucking dark net. I mean, it's just like, and I joke about that, but literally on the they said that somebody on the dark web or whatever, or however they know this, but they have 500,000 Zoom credentials.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just it don't let me step back and look at it for like what it does is amazing. But I read an article. The guy's like, it's a good system. I mean, it's like the video and the conferencing and everything you do with it's awesome. But Jesus Christ, if you guys want to make money, don't fucking give it away. I mean, like make different tiers, and I mean,
Right.
there's ways to utilize it. But holy fuck, man! I was every time I would open up like I have these news feeds. Every time I open up these news feeds, there's some other article shitting on Zoom how fucking bad it is. And not from like a technical perspective, but just like security
Yeah.
holes and fucking people stealing IDs and guessing a fucking somebody's Zoom call and then Zoom bombing them. It's just like
All right, so who do we have out there? This is Philip Enos.
Philippines.
Oh, damn. Oh, you son of a
What was the one? Somebody did it on it was a children's Zoom call. And the comments were like, dude, there's like 8-year-olds on here. It's like I guess he was swearing and
man.
they had like pornography on and all. I mean,
I believe that because you hear all the like people who hack into the ring and stuff like that and start talking to kids and saying all kinds of bullshit. So that honestly that doesn't surprise me at all.
it's just it was bad. I mean, it was just it I'm like, it could have been. It could have been literally a boom time for the company that makes Zoom. I think maybe just Zoom. But holy shit, dude! I mean, it's like you need to get your fucking house in order. It's awful. It was awful. I think I mean, I think they fixed things and they're in the process of fixing things. But they could have. This whole thing could have been like like
Oh man,
a,
you're right. They
like
could
a boom time.
they could have become $1 billion company through all this stuff for sure.
Oh, a ton of it. I mean, it would have been massive. Um, So, uh, well, we're coming up on I got 54 minutes right now.
So all right,
Um,
we got to get to one more thing before we get off here.
we have to talk about Big Dick Black Guy.
I mean, look, I've said this to multiple people, and I'm gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna ride this all the way through, like I almost did. Um, his dick is probably the face of the coronavirus.
Oh, absolutely. The like, have you seen the meme with, like, him and the Tiger King, Joe Exotic?
Yeah.
And it's like 20 it just said the year of 2020, and it's just those 2.
It is, man. I mean, I've been receiving that joke probably for 2 years now, on and off. But you got me with the coronavirus joke at the very beginning, like talking about something in Wuhan. So I kicked like, I wonder what's going on here. Are you?
This article looks interesting. Oh, god damn it.
So, but some people are getting so creative with this stuff. It's awesome. I just saw one the other day that was a hand sanitizer dispenser that has him sitting there, and it looks like it's shooting from his dick.
Have you seen the one where it's like a cappuccino machine?
No, I haven't. Oh, I
S
guess I
sa
did. I think you said that one to me.
Yeah, same principle, like, his dick hangs down over the jets on
Yep.
the cappuccino machine.
But on this, hand
Um,
sanitizer comes out white, so
yeah.
even looks more like he's shooting a load there.
Yeah, exactly. But to your point, people have gotten so creative. Like, the one like he's at the sitting at the president's desk, or he's in the like the White House cabinet. Um,
One of my
well,
favorites was he was at the president's press conference, and like somebody put his face on like the surgeon general, who had a piece of paper in his hand down like in front of his dick, and the picture on the sheet of paper was the monster hog.
I like the one where like the state of Florida is his dick, like he's just sitting in the corner of the states.
And then
I
I saw
mean,
people are doing like from the movies now. So like Ghostbusters, when the Marshmallow Man's going, so all the guys are looking up with their mouth gaped open. So you see over the top of the building, you see his head. And you see the people running and diving all over the place, and then his dick comes swinging. Oh man, some people, I don't know like what programs they have to do this shit, but man, it's good.
it is. I mean, like, it has in creativity just in general. I mean, people are locked up in their house, and it's kind of funny because I get people like, "Oh, what's it like being quarantined?" I'm like, I'm not technically quarantined. I'm told to like stay at home, so I stay at home when I need to, and then I fucking go outside when I want to. It's like I'm. It's not like I can't leave my house. You know what I mean?
Right. I
Like
still
I,
right. We still go for walks or whatever.
yeah.
Go to the store.
But the creativity just on the big dick black eye alone is amazing. But people are and you got all of the what we were talking about today? Like everybody's doing like their internal pub crawl, like from the living room to the dining room to the
Yeah, different area in every room. It's good stuff, man. That's the kind of shit we did in college. We called it around the world, but
yeah. Well, you know probably where it's coming from. So
no, man, it's good shit, man. You got to
yep.
laugh, right? I mean, these are weird times right now. You got to be able to laugh. That's the only way you're gonna get through this stuff.
No, absolutely, and again, I mean, I don't, I honestly, like I said earlier, I'm grateful for having a job that allows me to work from home and continue all this stuff. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be somebody that's furloughed or laid off, and they don't know when they're going back to work. So, um,
Absolutely, man. I agree with you.
so
Same boat, and definitely, man. If you guys are listening, and you got friends who aren't able to work, just make sure you drop them a line. Try to cheer them up a little bit. Do what you can because we're all going through a shit time right now. So,
I. I started to chuckle because I thought you were gonna fucking plug Fragmental. I feel like if you got a friend that's out of work and they got nothing to do, have them just pop into Fragmental and have a listen.
well, I mean, they can do that as well, but that's not where I was going.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so
Um,
lowbrow. Even when I go highbrow, everybody hears the lowbrow version of it.
I'm just lowbrow, so I just went there. I don't, it could have been highbrow for all. I mean, I don't know how highbrow I am.
Not
Um,
either. Who am I?
what's that?
I said I'm not either. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, well, let's obviously if you any of the listeners out there, we're on Twitter, we're on we have our website fragmental.co. drop us a line, give us some thoughts, give us some
Yeah.
ideas, or
What do you
give us
want
some
to hear about?
comments, give us some feedback.
Yeah. What do you want to hear about during all this quarantine and stuff? We got plenty. We got plenty of time to find stuff to talk about. So give us some topics.
Exactly, and we've got a new method of continuing these podcasts without having to sit in front of each other. So, um, all right, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Dave.
See ya.
Later.